What's going on, everybody? Tim from Tierphone Orbital. So today I'm going to quickly go over and install a commission that I completed a couple of days ago on an Ignition Saber company, Subversion. It's been a little while since I've had a Subversion come across my desk. So I just wanted to quickly go over what I did to the hilt, and we will also obviously put a blade in it and do a demo, right? So we don't have to come into Fusion. TJ and the folks over at Ignition Saber Companies do provide a chassis and a battery tray with every Subversion purchase, and it's a very, very simple chassis solution for this particular hilt. It's a very unique, there's some very unique internals to this hilt. It's not our typical like straight tube with a unthreadable grip or anything like that. So anyhow, we don't have to come into Fusion. But I do want to talk a little bit about the weathering on this. So the client for this particular install did request some mild weathering. There was also a request for a blaster hole in the grip of this hilt. Now, I have not done any blaster hole modifications to hilts up until this point. So this was my first time trying this. It was a little nerve-wracking. But I am very happy with the result, so I will talk about that a little bit as well. So, without further ado, let's come up top and take a look at this hilt. All right, so this is the Subversion from Ignition Saber Company. I've talked ad nauseum about this hilt and how great it is. I mean, I'm always a fan of exposed crystal chamber hilts, but also this hilt is just ripe for modifications, right? So, I mean, there's plenty of room on the shroud and grip to do modifications like etching or powder coating. It's a really, really great looking hilt, right? I mean, I've seen people do all kinds of stuff to this hilt. I mean, it's very, very versatile for modifications. So I just did my usual pass of aluminum black on this hilt just to give it a little bit of a worn gunmetal look. So all the, the crevices and the channels, they all remain black with a little bit of grime. There are some very, very nicely machined brass rods. The crystal chamber is brass as well. So all of that was naturally weathered. The blaster hole, right? So here is the blaster hole in the hilt. So this was a little nerve-wracking. So obviously you don't want it to look intentional. You don't want it to look, you don't want people to be able to tell that you took a Dremel to this. Like you want it to kind of look like a blaster hole, right? So the way I achieved that was first by drilling a small hole. I didn't want the hole to be too big, right? Because this is the battery compartment, so the battery is exposed here. And I didn't want to do it back here because this is where the board is, right? So I didn't want to make it too big, so I started by drilling a small pilot hole, right? And then I took I have a very small cutoff wheel on my Dremel and just started making gouges around the circumference of that hole. And I also, I took a file to the inside of the hole as well, a small triangular file, because you don't want the hole to look exactly circular. That just won't look real, in my opinion. So I made it like irregular shaped. And that's it. Another request that the client had was a covertec wheel in the grip. Putting the covertec wheel here works because there are no components underneath this screw. If you were to put it up here, it would get into the battery or the board rather, but there's plenty of room here. So I did have to drill and thread a new hole for the hex set screw, or the hex screw that holds the covertec wheel in place. This is a 7/64 size, just threaded machine screw, right? And it just goes all the way into the hilt. So you do have to remove that when removing the grip to get to the battery. And we'll talk about that right now, right? So to get at the inside of your hilt, put your battery in, you want to unthread your pommel. We have a 28mm bass speaker down here from Smugglers Outpost. So I've just got some Allen key or some hex nuts lying around that I use. So you want to unthread that covertec wheel. Okay. Take off the top set screw. And then you can slide your grip off. So here is our Proffie board. This is a Proffie V2 build. Around the front, here is our battery tray. Spring side is your negative. Spring side is towards the speaker. Put your battery in the tray. So this particular install does not come with a kill switch. There's not much room to integrate a kill switch in this chassis area. I have seen some folks do some really, really interesting stuff with kill keys and recharge ports. So it's definitely possible, but stock as it is, there is no kill key. You are the kill key as you put the battery in and remove it, right? Once you get your battery in, you want to slide your grip back in place. Tighten that set screw. And then put your covertec wheel in. Okay. And pommel back in place, and you're ready to go. All right, let's come back down to the bottom. I've said it once, I'll say it all the time. I love an exposed crystal chamber. Really loud hit. See what else we put on here.
The NASA team is ready for launch.
So there are two switches, top and bottom. Bottom switch is your aux. Top serves as your main. You tighten this covertec wheel up again here.
I'm Cal Castish.
Let's put a blade in it. All right, so this is a 1-inch blade holder. You just want to rest your blade on those PCB pins and then tighten that set screw. There's a set screw right in this slot here. Tighten that set screw and you're ready to go. See what else we put on here. Whoops. I'll tighten that blade up a little bit more. One more. Solid hilt. All right. So that's it. I just wanted to do a very quick demo on the Subversion from Ignition Saber Company. It's just a phenomenal hilt. Like I said, it's ripe for mods. I've seen all kinds of interesting modifications, body modifications done to Subversions. I mean, it's a great hilt. Very, very phenomenally machined hilt. There is a lot going on detail-wise in this hilt, right? So anyhow, to the client, thank you very much for trusting me with your install. If anyone has any questions about this particular install or anything, really, please do not be a stranger. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody.